that's really good. Oh, hi. How are you today? Welcome back to 20SomethingsTV, the show for 20-somethings by 20-somethings. We hope you're doing well. God, winter's almost over. Let's get that out of here. Groundhog, let us know we got early spring. It's been a minute. I'm your host, Christian Owen, and I am joined by my lovely co-hosts, Abby Stevenson, John Maddock, and Dimitri Ashby. And we are happy to tell you really quickly that if we don't see you next week, it was because these two fiends have been scheming and we don't know what's going on. Yeah. Guys, we are going to be talking to you really quickly.
He's watching.
We're going to go from a broad topic to a local topic to a huge breaking story. First up, we have some resident teachers in the room with us, some hosts, and we're going to talk a little bit about how post-COVID children are not learning and retaining information to the same degree. And I believe we have a little clip to show. Yeah. Let's get that. Roll that.
TikToker at QB the Dawn is a 7th grade teacher who went viral for his video expressing his frustrations with the public school system while revealing that most of his students are severely underperforming. He says almost no one is speaking up or doing anything about it and that parents don't seem to notice. And instead, these students are just being pushed through to the next grade. We all know there was a pandemic a few years ago, but it's possible we don't understand exactly how badly that's impacted students.
So I know you guys have not the same amount of experience, but you guys have both worked in different levels of education, primary and secondary. I'm sure you guys have slightly different viewpoints on how it's been. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, well, I have a little bit of experience with high schoolers. I was subbing for high school, but I recently, just a few months ago, started subbing at an elementary school, and I did preschool, kindergarten, but 2nd grade was the big giveaway because it was right before Christmas. So they had all the fun little, Christmas things to do. And one of it was a packet with this little story about how candy canes are made and then comprehension questions, right? The teacher left this for her students. Not one kid in that class could read. Oh, there was this whole packet that they were supposed to read the thing and then read the questions and then know how to answer the questions. They couldn't read at all. I had to read the story to all the kids and then tell them what the question said and then basically tell them how to go back in the text and find it. 2nd grade. And then there was some spelling activities. They couldn't spell the word sweet. They couldn't spell the word gum. These were just some of the few ones that were really popping out.
2nd graders?
2nd graders.
I thought you said preschool. Oh my God, that's so much worse. Jesus.
And it's scary and it's upsetting because I don't know how much of it is them just not knowing or how much of it was maybe that they were playing that up since I was a sub. But then again, they're such sweet kids, so I don't think that was that. I think they just genuinely they just didn't know how to do it.
Yeah. I would say that it's the same thing. It doesn't really get better, unfortunately, right now. I think that for high schoolers, it's really weird because it's a huge lack of interest. Mm-hmm. There's that whole reason of why do I go to school kind of deal. So I feel like these newer age kids kind of see the pathway because of social media, and they're oh, this person's like this and they didn't go to school, or oh, this person is a live streamer, or they're a YouTuber, or they're this or they're that. And I feel like education has been severely devalued on a huge scale, and I think that due to public education, there's a lack of interest. Just getting kids into school is tough. When you're in college, it's a little bit different because you're studying what you like. You're learning what you like. Fortunately, I teach film. I'm a CTE teacher, so I don't teach a core subject. So all the kids that go to my classes, they want to be there.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of retaining that interest with students. And I think with core classes like English or math, it's well, if I'm not good at math, why do I need math? Because my phone can do all the math. Yeah. Or if I'm not good at English, it doesn't matter how to spell, because if I type something wrong, my phone will fix it and make it right. So I think that just education is shifting, and kids are becoming more reliant on technology, and they're not really reliant on learning or understanding. My kids don't know how to troubleshoot computers, but they know how to use computers.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird.
They're not even learning cursive anymore. Can you believe it, folks, ladies and gentlemen?
I will say that my classrooms are paperless. I don't use paper, so I can understand it's very weird.
No cursive.
You know what? If we can't even get to our schools, then what's the point of even like talking about school at all.
You know,
Transition of the century.
And John, I think as a local boy, I think you gotta sort of break this down. What's going on? The Washington Bridge in East Providence is like the biggest city in Rhode Island. Like it's closed down.
Yeah, it's like the only bridge into Providence from anywhere from the east side of the state. I guess they're talking about it now. It's supposed to be like a 2-month, I think, repair window, and now it's been past that. I mean, this isn't the first time the Rhode Island Department of Transportation has lied through its teeth about bridges. I mean, for some reason, Rhode Island seemingly can't build bridges, you know, to...
And they need bridges.
We need bridges.
We're
There's
the
a lot of
ocean
rivers.
state.
We're the ocean state.
We're
I
the
mean,
ocean state.
goddamn.
You gotta build bridges.
You would think that that's one thing that we do well is build bridges if we're an island, you know?
I had a friend commuting last semester from Barrington, and normally takes her like 40-45 minutes to get to school. She was in her car ready to go. She thought it was going to take her 2.5 hours
No
to get
shot.
to school. She just didn't go. She's like,
No shot.
I'm not going.
I mean, it's a nightmare. And now, according to a private firm, this Michael Murdoch guy is apparently saying that they need to consider either demolishing part of it or completely taking down the bridge and putting it back up. And this bridge only went up like 15 years ago. It was in my lifetime. It's unbelievable. Like, what are they doing? What are these civil engineers getting paid for?
Yeah, and that would take so much more money and time to renovate that. And the transportation issues. I mean, they have started like building new lanes around it, so people to try and like RIDOT has been sort of trying to mitigate the problems, but
Not well.
it's not. It's so hard. That's always the worst. Traffic on highways and repairing highways is like, it's such a persevering problem.
Yeah. And it was definitely a mess to begin with because when they initially found the problem, they said that it was a minor salvageable issue. Like they said that we know that this is a thing, we can fix it. And then probably not even a month later, they were like, oh no, the whole bridge has got to go. So it just, you know, it's a mess to begin with.
They're always lying. It's just.
It was probably like some sort of like damage control, like right in the beginning. Then they were like, we can't even lie about this anymore.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
They knew. They knew.
Yeah, no, you're
It
probably
goes
right.
deeper.
You're probably right.
I won't get into it, but it goes deeper.
It's like, it's sort of like hiding your problems from the public so they won't like figure it out. And
Another.
yeah, and
illusion.
I
That was
have
pretty
sort of like
smooth.
another
That was
little
pretty
thing to
smooth.
talk to you guys about, something similar. A very, very famous woman, Wendy Williams, just had a very, very, very public series on, was it Lifetime is the name of it?
Yeah, Lifetime Network.
Yeah, there's a
Women's
4-part like
Women's
special,
Network.
kind of like a documentary about her declining health. I don't know too much about, like, I know, is it dementia, right?
Yeah, right now, I guess what they're saying is that she has dementia and some form of oral deficiency when it comes to processing words and stuff.
I thought it was like a frontal lobe sort
Yeah.
of thing where like she's just sort of saying things, not really like having full control over what she's
Yeah.
saying. Which I want to just like let you talk because you brought up a good point about why are people following her around with cameras and showing this, when I heard it's similar to what Bruce Willis has, right? Or maybe the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's Bruce Willis.
And
yeah, I
that's,
believe.
you know, hidden out of respect for like his health and image and stuff,
Absolutely.
but she's being put.
It's FTD.
Yeah.
It's like frontal something dementia. It's a type of dementia.
I just don't understand, you know, America. What's going on here, right? I mean, we have this beloved public figure, Wendy. Everybody loves Wendy. My heart goes out to Wendy. What else can I say? But, I mean, just the ethics of following around this poor, sick woman that so many people love and exposing her for the problems that she's going through in her personal life. Like, I mean, I guess they're making money off of it, but I just couldn't understand the ethics behind such a project.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing I've heard or can see people have said about it is that like her whole thing was just like going into people's like personal lives
Maybe a
and,
little
I was
bit.
just gonna
and
say,
talking
you
about
know,
it on her show. So and I think she said it before. She's like, I would tell you to respect my privacy, but I don't respect your privacy.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that stuff, and I heard she is an executive producer. So who knows what's going on there? But like it could be entertaining, but it's also, I feel like, just sort of upsetting to watch. And I don't really, I don't like when people are like laughing about it and stuff.
Yeah,
'Cause it's a little bit deeper than like what's going on with like Kim and Kanye type of stuff.
Definitely.
Like, this is her health.
Definitely.
I would consider it sort of like a double-edged sword. I would say one, it's definitely just like understanding like what Wendy Williams did with people and like just the lack of privacy. I feel like kind of shows that she has a lack of privacy. But I also think that like seeing stuff like this could also be like kind of, I don't know, like maybe like awareness raising, you know what I mean? In terms of like, obviously there are always going to be people on the internet who will scrutinize everything and they'll touch on topics that like they shouldn't touch on, because like the internet can be such a unfiltered, nasty place. But I also think that like just like learning about this process, and like I'm pretty sure that somebody mentioned that like there's a, or it could have been a rumor that like alcoholism had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
raising that awareness, and like if you're somebody that could potentially be like struggling with something like this,
Yeah.
seeing what this could lead to could kind of like be eye-opening for somebody, you know what I mean? So
Well, you watched it, right? Did it have that sort of like educational vibe to it, or did you not watch it?
I didn't. I've only heard about it. I haven't
anyone
personally watched it. I think one of our producers in the
Yes,
booth might
yes.
have watched it.
Talking
but
to
he's
us
not
about
on screen now.
it. Yeah,
Oh, too bad. If only we could get him out here to talk about it.
yeah. We were talking
camera 4.
last week a little bit. We were talking about this other story about this kid and her mom, and how there was this whole story about how she tried to like get her boyfriend to kill her mom or something like that. But now,
The Gypsy Rose.
yeah, we're like
was that
raising,
Gypsy Rose? I was
it's
like,
like
that kid.
raising awareness about an issue that not a lot of people go through, and you know, making it public. It's like the ethics of like, we like to watch that type of stuff, but should we be? And should we like sort of stop the Wendy Williams type of thing where she's exposing people, and sort of stop it in its tracks and try to cultivate a better like culture around that?
Definitely. And I
Yeah.
think it's all about just like perception, you know what I mean? Like just understanding, like, you know, when we create things and when we put stuff on the media, it's like, what's the narrative? Like, are we doing it in a sense of like propaganda, or are we doing it more so like, hey, we just want you to understand what's going on? And I mean, again, I haven't seen much about it. I haven't watched any of the series, but just seeing what the spin is on it could potentially, you know,
Yeah.
determine that. Don't do it on like the internet, like Twitter, social media, Instagram. Like you're just gonna see the worst. You're gonna get snippets and quotes. So
Yeah.
it's tough.
We're praying for Wendy here at 20 something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if there's one thing we want you guys to take away from this, it's to keep Wendy Williams in your heart. And also one more thing, that these two fiends are rigging the whole 20-somethings TV, and they're bringing it all down. That's right.
It's like the bridge,
Yeah, like the bridge.
like the bridge.
We're
God.
taking it down. There's nobody.
Are
who's
you
gonna
guys?
stop
Do you guys
us.
work for the DOT, or is
All right.
this?
Yeah,
Don't
they work
worry
for
about it.
they work for RIDOT. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to tune in next week for more 20-somethings TV shenanigans. Be good, stay safe. Don't take the bridge.